Hello everyone, and welcome to the first edition of Fireside with Phil, where I share with you some stories that have taken place throughout my career that I think you might find interesting. My first story took place during the Memorial Tournament back in 2006 or so. Our second round was interrupted by weather and darkness, and we had to reconvene the next morning at around 7 in the morning. I'm on the sixth hole, and the tour official is cutting a new hole, but we haven't finished our round yet. We have to play to the same hole location. So I raise my hand and say, "Hey, we're not done." And the rules official raises his hand, acknowledges that he heard me, but continues to cut a new hole. So I walk further up and I say, "Hey, we're not done." And again, he puts his hand up to acknowledge he hears me, but continues to cut a new hole. So finally, I walk right up close to the edge green, just on the other side of a lake, and I said, "We're not done." He stands up in disgust and puts his hands on his hips and says, "Someone took a dump in the cup." Very well then, carry on. Hello everyone, and welcome to a special Fireside with Phil, a 2-candle real fireplace edition with my first special guest, my mom Mary, who has a story to share.
It's Thanksgiving Day, 1985. Philip is 15 years old. I'm fixing dinner for 30 people. He comes up to me and says, "Mom, would you take me to the golf course?" I said, "No way, I'm cooking dinner for 30 people." 4 or 5 hours go by, all the food's on the table. Where's Philip? He's nowhere to be found. I looked at my husband and he looked at me. We knew where he was. He paid the kid next door to drive him down to the golf course. He told everyone, "Have your Thanksgiving dinner." We got in the car, we went out to the course. We see him at the far end. We got in a cart, and as we're approaching, he sees us, he turns to this group, tips his hat, shakes their hand. We knew he didn't want us anywhere near them. Gets in the cart, we go to the car, all the way home. Not one word was said. And I'm thinking, we've got him. This time, we've got him. We get out of the car, he looks me in the eye, and I look him in the eye. And he says, "Mom, every day I don't practice is another day till I'm great." And I'm thinking to myself, wow, he did it. That was a great answer. There was no punishment. It was done.
You see, kids, playing on the parents' worst fear of holding you back is the greatest way to get what you want. And parents, if you're listening, don't fall for it. Until next time, let's all hit bombs, attack pins, and showcase those calves. Hello everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Fireside with Phil, where I bring my good friend, longtime rival, although be it a very one-sided rivalry, Tiger Woods. We like to sit around in our Hall of Fame jacket and drink a little coffee, although you haven't gotten yours yet, but when you are eligible in a few years, I'm going to vote for you and I will lobby for you as well, so he should be in, no problem. But we like to tell stories, and he's beaten me so many times that I like to focus on the 3 times that I've gotten the better of him. Specifically the 2012 AT&T, where I shot 60, 40, or 75 and ended up winning the tournament. But what I like to tell is about your partner, Tony Romo. So starting the final round, his partner, Tony, and my partner, Skip McGee, we're all 4 going to play together. But the night before the final round, we go to a dinner that Jim Nance puts on every year down in the basement of the Sardine Factory. He's been doing it for 20 plus years. About 20 people show up, and his partner, Tony Romo, is there, and Jim seats us next to each other. And we had a great time. We laughed and told stories and talked football and had just a great night. His wife was wonderful, and we just had a really good time. So the next morning, Tony knows that this is going to bother Tiger, that we had dinner together. So he tells his caddy, "Don't mention it. Don't bring it up. Don't say a word." I also know that this is going to bother him. So we all tee off on the first hole, and as we're walking down, I stand back about 20 yards, and Tiger and Tony, off they go. And I yell, "Hey, Tony! Tony! That was such a great night last night, man. That was awesome." "Tiger, do you remember the stare you gave him?" "Yeah, that's it." That was the stare that Tony got. So as Tiger looks at Tony like this, Tony looks at him and says, "There were a lot of people there last night. It was a random occurrence. I didn't know I was going to sit next to Phil," and he starts justifying this. And You gave that same look on 6 when Tony hit a putt after you were already in for birdie. His putt for birdie was on my putt for eagle and showed me the line, and I ended up knocking that in. You use that same stop. That's a rough look. Yeah, I like that smiley tiger better. But anyways, I ended up finally getting the better of you. It took me 15 years to get one up on you, and we had a good time. Welcome to another edition of Fireside with Phil, with my special guest JT. When we played together before he was known as JT, he was just Justin. You have a story to share.
I do, Phil. It was the 2014 U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I was on the web.com, now the Corn Ferry Tour at the time, so the crowds were a little overwhelming to start, but we had a little match, myself and Jordan versus you and Ricky, and kind of just came right into the lion's den. And playing the 4th hole, I forget what the status of the match was, that's irrelevant to the story, but 4th hole I think it is, it's a hard dogleg left. Remember, whatever, he hit the drive down there, long iron, and the green's kind of sitting in a bowl, and just to the right of the green, just a little crevice, and we both hit it right next to each other. Not bad shot, just right of the green. All sloped away from us. I couldn't figure out how to play it. If I wanted to kind of skip one and spin it, go up, putt it, whatever. Tight, sandy, grainy, how Pinehurst is. I decided to putt it. Hit a nice putt up there, about like this far. You go after me, and Bones at the time looked right at him. He just grabbed the 64, took a full swing, just took a full earth bunker divot all over the green, straight up in the air, popped down about like this, just a little outside of mine. And you know, like we knew each other, but weren't quite as close as we are now. But I know that you like to talk smack, and I was like, nice shot, Phil, just a little bit outside of mine. Without batting an eye, you just look at me, you go, yeah, my dad probably would have putted that one too. And then just walked up there.
I love it when you send shade because it allows me to bring the heat. And we all know you don't sit fireside unless you can handle the heat.
That's exactly right.
Thanks for being on.
Absolutely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fireside with Phil with one of the best players in the game, 3-time major champion, Jordan Spieth, has a story to share with you.
Thank you for having me, Phil. So Phil...
Love having you on. You're
so
the man.
We've played a number of practice rounds together, and in those practice rounds there's been multiple occasions where you started to work on willing my ball out of the hole.
Yes, I've been working hard at that.
Yeah, so I'm a good mid-range putter, but when I play these rounds with you, none of them seem to go in. You would will them out, then it would lip out, I'd turn to you, and you just give me one of those smiles, nod your head.
You know what happened.
And there was certainly an energy that was keeping the ball out of the hole. So we get paired together at Augusta National in the second or third to last group on Saturday in, I think, 2017. And I walk to the first tee and I'm worried. I've had a restless night because I'm worried that you will be willing my ball out of the hole at the Masters. But it's Saturday and we can root for each other. It's not Sunday. So I walked to the tee and I said, Phil, it's really nice to see you. I hope you have a great day. If you wouldn't mind, please take off the willing the ball out of the hole. Let's root for each other today. Let's have a great day. And then tomorrow you can get back to what you're used to doing today.
I love the fact that I was able to get in his dome. The problem is you shot 66 that day, so that's the last time I'm going to hold off on that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for being on.
See you, Phil.
On this edition of Fireside with Phil, I want to share with you one of the most interesting moments that have happened with me on the PGA Tour. Going back to the 1990s, I was playing AT&T, and it was late in the day at Poppy Hills when we were playing there, and it was a par 3. We were waiting for the group on the green in front of us, and there was only 15 or 20 people around the tee box, and there was this guy riding a bike down the cart path. He's driving his bike down, and one of the guys in the galleries takes his arm, and as he comes close to him, goes, whack! And knocks him on his back. We're like, oh my goodness, what just happened? We're rushing over there, and the guy looks down to him and says, that's my bike! And earlier in the day, that guy had stolen his bike. He kind of half-dazed looked up, realized that he got caught, pops up, and runs away, and the guy picks up his bike and rides off. Hey everyone, let's get real for a few minutes. I haven't posted anything because I haven't felt good about myself and the way I've been playing, and so I haven't done anything or wanted to be in public. The last 10 days I've done what I call a hard reset, to change and try to make things better. I have lost 15 pounds. I've done a 6-day fast with water and a special coffee blend for wellness that I've been working on with Dave Phillips, and went on a bit of a retreat. I'm here in Ireland now, a beautiful place, getting ready for the British Open. I don't know if it's going to help me play better or not, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to try to get my best back. I'll have more fireside chats and some funny things in the future, but for now, let's keep it real.